Well, hello and welcome back to our series Overcoming Obstacles. We're in Module 2 now. We went through Module 1. We had 9 lessons plus a 10th lesson, which was a recap. So if you didn't do any of that module, you need to go back and catch that because it's very crucial to get the foundation of overcoming obstacles. Went through a lot of great stuff. I'm not going to review it here because that's what the purpose of last week was. But we are moving into Module 2, which is 4 lessons on one of my favorite subjects, which is motivation. So let's get rolling here. Again, I'm Don Hastings with A2B4me.com if this is your first time. As we go through this, if you feel like you need more, feel free to schedule a one-on-one strategy session with me. You can go up to A2B4me.info/15 with Don, and I'll go over that at the end of the program as well. But if you want to get that set up, go ahead and do that. It's absolutely free. We have a 15-minute session. I just ask that you be prepared when you do go make the appointment by hitting that link. You'll receive 4 questions, and I want you to review those questions and be prepared to discuss those with me so we can make our time together as effective and fruitful as possible. All right, well, let's get rolling. I'm going to back out of here. So let's make this full screen so you've got a good shot at the slides this week. And first of all, woohoo! I don't think woohoo has ever been portrayed any better than Homer Simpson back in the day. But welcome to Module 2. In the previous lesson, we learned some of the awesome strategies for dealing with setbacks. So now you have a lot of tools to use to conquer your obstacles. So again, if you haven't done that, go back and do that because you don't want to miss all those neat little tricks and tips that we put in back there. But however, one of the most frustrating things about obstacles is they tend to wear you down if you're not prepared. So if you're not ready for them, they just wear at you and wear at you and wear at you. But don't let them get the best of you because here we come with this session, which is going to teach you how to motivate yourself and maintain that motivation throughout the tough times. Now, a lot of times, it's not hard to get motivated. You can listen to something. You can go to, I know back in the day, we used to have seminars and rallies, and I did a lot of multi-level marketing, as you probably could figure out. Boy, we'd go get all pumped up and stuff. We'd visit the city and we'd be with all the top leaders and all the top producers. And man, we'd leave there. We were 7 foot tall and bulletproof, of course. Then we'd get back home and in our living rooms and that phone staring at us again, and all of a sudden that motivation starts to dwindle a little bit when you're by yourself. So nowadays you really kind of have to depend a lot on online motivation, and that gets even worse because you really don't even have that personal touch. But well, here at A2B for me, we try to do with you programs, not just give you some do it yourself program. We want to do them with you, but you can always be moving toward your goals if you can maintain that motivation and continually motivate yourself. So that's what we want to do. So we're going to dive into the first lesson session here, which is how to motivate yourself to do great things. And again, motivation really is multifaceted. It's getting great ideas, so having good counseling and good mentoring, and then have that support to back you up, and really accountability, being sure your goals are in line, and then the main thing is just keeping that right attitude, getting the brain right. If the brain's not right, you're not going to get very far. And of course, performance, which is action. Nothing happens without action. And then, of course, we want to monitor that success. So here we go. Let's roll into it. Well, what does it take to motivate you? I mean, here you are at the crosswalk and you're down and out and got the blues. Well, what's it going to take to get you perked up, right? Well, you set goals, you make plans, you get excited. But then you procrastinate when it comes time to do something. You got that fear in there, that hesitancy. And many of us are cursed with the ability to feel good about the planning and all that process, but awful about acting on those plans. So there's a lot of great planners out there, and I know I'm talking to a bunch of you. When you get up there, man, you got this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And then when it's go time, you're like a deer in headlights. Oh my goodness, girl, I got this. I got to do this first, and then this. Well, I got to do this today. I'm gonna hop on that tomorrow. And it's that procrastination thing that really, really kills your motivation. So there's a disconnect there, and a few people understand how to address it. And if you master that disconnect and you find that final piece of that motivational puzzle, I'm telling you, you can do anything. And it's just a daily dose of motivation. And we're going to talk about that over the next 4 sessions here. But if your ability to tie your planning and action phases together is poor, you're going to struggle immensely. It's just not going to happen because there's just that huge disconnect of the plans. Your subconscious, the bottom line is your subconscious has not bought off on the process yet. And so you haven't done the thought process. You haven't got your thoughts right. Don't have your words right. And if you don't have your thoughts and your words right, and you get into actions, we talk about all the time with A to B for me. It's thoughts, actions, habits, and you've got to get those 3 in that order before you can start building your character and then lead you on to destiny and your successes. So you have to enhance your motivation and your results with some strategies, and we're going to talk about these in this session. Number 1, you got to give your attention to those things under your control. And I love the serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. And you just have to know what you can do. You may not be able to control much in some situations. I'm not going to say you absolutely cannot, but you may not be able to control much. But there's no reason to focus on anything else. Just focus on what you can control. And doing so will only lead you to feeling overwhelmed. If you're sitting here and trying to figure out how am I gonna get that done? How am I gonna get that done? How am I possibly gonna get that done? Well, it's not gonna happen because you don't have any control in those areas. So you gotta figure out what is under your control and really what you can actually do. Now there might be some workarounds that we'll talk about, but delegating or doing something else. But you just can't get frustrated when you're out there trying to make things happen if you're biting off more than you can chew. Whether it's education, whether it's your just your skill set, whatever it is, you have to understand that there may be some things under your control beyond that you can't even handle yet because you're just not in control of it. But there's no reason to focus, trust me, on anything else other than what is under your control. For example, receiving a promotion that really isn't under your control. Now the behaviors that improve your odds are under your control. So when we look at your chances of success, Scott, I love this over here. I don't know who put this together, but it's really pretty cool. But if your behaviors are I won't, well, you can pretty much got a 0% of improving your odds. If it's I can't, well, you move up to 10%. I don't know how. Well, 20% because you have some willingness, but you just don't know how. I wish I could. Well, I don't know. Hope's not a strategy, but I guess at least you have some desire there, 30%. I want to. That's more desire, 40%. I think I might. All right, now we got I think I can. I think I can stage. That's 50%. I might, 60%. I think I can. There it is, 70%. I can, 60%. And then I am. When you get into the affirmation phase of I am, look at that, 90%. And then I did, of course, 100%. But put your time and energy and attention on the things you can manipulate. So look at your scenario, and when you're in the coaching sessions with us, we'll look at these and we'll say, okay, well, you want to do that. Do you have the ability to do that? What's your plan for pulling that off? Are you going to have to sub that out? Are you going to have to delegate that? What are you going to do there? Or you're going to have to go back and get some more schooling. What do you need to do? You just need practice time. Just get out there and practice it. Everybody hates it when you want to sit down and do some some phone calling, and they hate role play. Everybody I know pretty much hates role play. But how are you going to get better if you don't role play, right? But there's things that you can manipulate. But avoid wasting your resources on anything that you can't influence. So if there's just no way you can get it done yourself, then don't waste your time on it, because you're just going to get frustrated. But your chance of success, keep that in mind. And again, that's why I do affirmations at the end of these, and hang around for them, because I think got 3 good ones today. But you got to get into that I am phase, and that's where the subconscious starts buying in on it. So we'll just pay attention, and let's get to the affirmations when we get there. All right, number 2. Well, this is kind of basic. You got to find your purpose. You got to find a purpose that inspires you. That's why we do 5 days of you several times a year, and we'll probably kick it off here pretty soon towards the end of the year. But going into work on Saturday to complete a report might sound like the least enjoyable way to spend part of your weekend, right? But if excelling at your job could lead to the promotion you've been dreaming of, it's easier to be motivated. So there you have control here. Again, you have control of your behaviors. Not going to lock in that promotion, but the fact that you're going in on weekend doing extra work and excelling at your job is going to help you get that. Now, maybe your purpose isn't your job, but and sometimes that's what it looks like when we're talking to people about this. Is we write something down and we think about it and we just crumple that up and throw that away. Let's try again and just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going and keep on writing and keep on writing. And if you've been in our 5 days, you know what I'm talking about. You sometimes need a couple of pens and maybe a couple of pads to get this thing going, but we got to find that purpose. We got to find whatever inspires you. Because most people don't like to work out. I mean, that's just bottom line when we're talking about people. One of the things somebody's goal was fitness, right? Well, I want to look good, want to feel good, want to drop 20, I want to do this, I want to do that, but they don't want to work out. But the prospect of being healthier and more attractive is what's motivating you, right? That's the key there. You say, okay, well, I want this, I'm here, and so I'm willing to do this to get that. But you have to avoid judging the task, and the task is working out. That's the short-term activity. So whatever it is like I said, if it's cold calling, then you got to avoid judging the task. That's just a way to get there. But think about what you'll get out of it down the road. And so you're just putting in equity, it's sweat equity into your own business, your own life, and get in there and get it done. So when you're looking at your visions, you're looking at future, you're looking at your plans. What a lot of people don't, when you're out there, I got a lot of real estate folks, insurance folks, and just motivational folks out there. You got to figure out your brand. You got to build your brand, and that's a whole nother thing, right? For if you not doing your own thing, then you got, of course, your career and those types of targets. But what are you doing with your time? What kind of projects? What kind of innovation can you develop? What kind of development can you do for yourself? Management. If you're going to go into leadership, you got to have some leadership training. Those types of things. You have to go through these things and put that sweat equity in to get these things. But you always need to not judge the task. You have to look at what's going to do for you down the road. So find a way to take what I call inspired action. Your inspiration might be a product of what you're doing for others. How does your goal benefit others? And you say, well, it really doesn't. Well, yeah, it does. If you're working for a company, they have a product of some kind of service, a product, something that's benefiting other people. But if you're out there, whatever you're doing, whether you're in sales, whether you're in healthcare, whatever it is, aligned, inspired action is going to be attraction action. So, I mean, when you're out there and you're doing great stuff, then you are going to attract things from the universe to help you succeed. So, anytime you have aligned, inspired action, it's basically attraction action, and it's going to come right back to you to more aligned, inspired action. So, it's a nice little circle of just love and benefits for everybody. So think about your goals and how do your goals benefit others. And Like I said, a lot of you saying, well, I don't know how it possibly could. Well, yeah, I mean, no matter what you do, whatever goal it is, it's probably helping some other people, whether it's your family or friends or, whatever it is, you're helping people. But find a way to take inspired action and help do things for others. Number three, let's focus on small wins. And we talk about this multiple times in the program. And there's a reason for that because you don't. People, they get in here and they just have these goals and they just, well, we talk, even our name, A to B, right? We want to know the A and the B, but the most important part is the two in the middle. And that's what we're talking about here. What is the two? You got an A, 2B. Well, what's the two? Well, the two are many goals. You have to have a lot of wins, and these can accumulate. And you can see right there, if you have win, 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 you've got some cross sections there, and there's your goal. Once you get those 3 wins, you've got the goal right there. So if your goal is to lose 50 pounds, let's say over the next year, which isn't a bad goal, it's easy to become burned out. I mean, after a couple of hard weeks of hitting the gym and avoiding late night snacks and drinking only water, you've lost a total of 2 whole pounds, right? Because you just got started. Your body doesn't believe you yet. It's still saying, we've been here before. Subconscious is saying, guys, hold on to that fat because we're going to need it. I mean, this guy, he'll be done with this thing in a little bit when we just go back to, eating Cheetos and Pop-Tarts and watching Netflix all night, right? The body doesn't believe you. But the bottom line is, if you've lost 2 pounds in a couple of weeks, that's a pound a week. You're right on schedule. You have to realize that you have 48 weeks and 45 pounds to go. That's all there is to it. So you have to track these things, track your success, and get these mini goals. And so if you're going to lose 50 in 52 weeks, then that's about a pound a week, right? And you might gain a little bit back on Thanksgiving and some of the holidays, but just keep track of it and stay on schedule. It seems like it's way too much to bear if you look at it from the big perspective. Oh my God, I got 48 pounds to go. I've been doing it for 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. But I'll tell you what, if you break the goal up into smaller pieces, it's going to work for you. And especially in fitness, once you get going, you're going to get going. I mean, there's every 6 weeks, you got to change things up a little bit. Just to make it exciting and get things rolling again for you, but just it'll start happening. It'll start snowballing on you, and pretty soon you realize that when you're working that hard, there's really no sense in eating junk because you just got to work that crap back off, right? So, but focus on your small wins, no matter what the goal is, and we're going to talk about this again, probably in about every session over the next 4 modules because it's so important. But depending on your ability to focus, it might be necessary to break up the goal. That's just the bottom line, into segments that last anywhere from 1 to 12 weeks. And we really advocate here, A to B for me, 12 weeks. We believe in the 12-week year, and because success is a culmination of small moments. And but there's no sense, especially everybody who was working with me this last year, especially during all this COVID mess, can really appreciate how we break things up into 12 weeks because you've got to be able to be light on your feet when things happen, financial difficulties, the world changes, these types of things. If your goals are set in stone on an annual basis, and you have to zig and zag, well, you're not very light on your feet. So you've got to be able to take these things and knock them back into 12-week segments, and then you can really, really analyze these things and make the proper changes that you need to make to help get your goals and really keep your motivation where it needs to be. Because this way your brain can experience success, and the subconscious has to experience success, or it's just going to give up. And when because that's the logic side, right? Your left brain is your logic, and so logically it can see a positive long-term outcome. And if you don't allow your left side of your brain, the subconscious, the Frankenstein versus the Einstein, right? The left side is the Frankenstein, and if you don't feed Frankenstein some stuff good that it likes early, then it's just going to it's going to be hell to pay for you because you're never going to be on track. You're not going to be motivated. You're going to be down all the time, and you're just going to the subconscious is trying to protect you. It's going to say, let's just go back to what we normally do because we felt so much better when we were just not worrying about having to do all this stuff. But if you break things into 12 weeks, and we're going to talk about this later in the program, um, then you really can see the changes, and you can make positive changes and set those mini goals, and really by the time you get to the end of the year, most of the time you've achieved more than you were going to achieve during your 1 year goal that you were setting before. but the bottom line is you're going to procrastinate if the path looks too challenging. So getting out any further than 12 weeks, it is rough because you just can't visualize it yet. You just can't. Now, I'm not saying don't have big goals. I'm not saying don't have stretch goals. I'm not saying not to have 2 to 5 year, not to have destiny goals. Yeah, you want those things. You want to know what you're working towards. But in the meantime, let's get some successes and let's keep growing on each success. Number 4, act first. You got to take action. I mean, it's really a mistake to wait for motivation to strike. I don't know if you remember these old pendulums we used to have, but you got to pull that thing back, and it's all potential energy until you let it go. And then once you let it go, boom, you got kinetic, and here, boom, 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 things are moving, right? But you might find yourself waiting for a long time if you're waiting on motivation. So avoid thinking too much about the work to be done. If you wait too long to get started, procrastination becomes more likely. So if you just sit there and sit there and sit there, hey, you might miss the moment. I mean, these things come by. A lot of folks think, oh my God, this is a good one, but there'll be another one. Well, sometimes another one takes a while. That's why I tell people all the time, when you get a thought in your brain, you've got milliseconds to write that thing down sometimes. So if you get a really good idea, stop, write that thing down, get your phone out, talk into your phone, something. Because I tell you, the chance you getting that thought back in your brain again sometimes is just minimal that it's ever going to come back to you. But action is just the key here. You have to take action, and that is really where people fail. Again, they plan, but they never act. And and again, in our A to B for me strategy, it's thoughts, action. And if you don't have action, you're not going to be able to change the habits that you need to change to get rolling. And once you get these habits changed and get the subconscious on board, oh my goodness gracious, you're pretty much on autopilot, because you can just roll and roll and roll and keep it going. So avoid thinking too much, and let's just take some action, see what happens. I mean, before you can stop yourself, you get started. Because, I mean, goodness gracious, you just, you talk yourself out of it. You'll find that motivation is easier to experience after you've acted. And a lot of people are like, oh, wait, I thought you were going to motivate me to act. Well, yeah, we are. But the bottom line is, once you get rolling, it's so much easier for motivation to stay in your life, because it's the subconscious to say, no, okay, I see this. I see where it's rolling. I see where it's rolling. I mean, every minute you wait under the guise of planning or strategizing saps what little motivation you may have already. It's like it being at the starting line. If you're at the starting line and you're ready to go, and the starter just never shoots the damn gun, then you're wore out. I mean, you're fatigued. Your muscles are cramped up. You're like, what in the world? And your brain is off the track. That's why when you get up there and then you get set, you go, because you are ready to go. And you don't want to be delayed. That's why people jump off on these things, because they're ready to roll, and they're, of course, trying to jump the gun, and they get those false starts. But if you're sitting there just waiting to go, the body is just like, forget you. We got better things to do. So you have to jump up and get busy. It's all about action, folks. Number 5, enhance your mood. It's much harder to be motivated when you're in a bad mood, right? and on the left is a big part of it. You see, that's a lot of his problem, is you're the one little bright spot maybe in all this gloom and doom, especially the last couple of years. So many people in such a bad mood, and just, oh my goodness gracious, and you're sitting there trying to be happy. But studies have shown that a negative mood increases procrastination behaviors. It just does. I mean, you're eating bonbons and sitting on the couch and not taking a shower. You're stinky, and you got your hair's all messed up and clothes clothes are all ragged, and you just get into watching, well, what else can I binge on Netflix? I don't think there's anything left, right? But procrastination enhances your mood in the short term, but at the expense of the future. So you're like, everybody says it. Well, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. Well, no. I mean, Zig Ziglar used to have a round to it. Everybody used to say, well, I'm going to get around to it. So he made these little coins, and it said to it on it, T-U-I-T or T-O-I-T. And he said, well, here's your round to it. And so just give them out, right? But I tell you what, procrastination is going to help you maybe in the short term, because you're telling yourself, oh, it's okay. I can eat this ice cream today. I'll get back on my diet tomorrow, and your mood gets better. But it's at the expense of the future, because you've messed up your plan, right? So put yourself in a better mental state, and procrastination becomes less likely to occur. So if you stay positive, you get around positive people, we'll probably hit that on here in a little bit, things are going to go better for you, because your mood's going to be there, and you're naturally going to want to do what you need to be doing. Because happiness increases productivity and success. It just does. When you're having a great day, everybody knows it. You've got that attraction to you, that smile versus the frown, right? But they can feel it. You can feel it over the phone. They can feel it when they see you get out of the car. They can feel it when they see you walking. They can just tell that you have a great day. And once you got that happiness going, it's just going to increase productivity and success. So you want to monitor your progress as we go through, and that's one of the things we do at A to B when we talk about the Phoenix Journal and all these great programs and things that we have, and these action plans. Is you got to monitor that progress, because research suggests that nothing is more motivating than progress in a meaningful endeavor. So if you can see it, then you can believe it. And so if you got your graphs, if you got, like I said, if you're graphing out your 50 pounds, and you're saying, okay, yeah, here I am in week 3, and I'm 3 pounds in. That's good. That'll work. If you're 6 pounds, oh my goodness gracious, I'm really making it. I might get there faster. You'll get the motivation to do a little bit more. So get in there and let's monitor that progress. Because without motivation, you can make spectacular goals, and the plans can still come up short. Because the bottom line is, if you're not motivated, and if you, like I said, that's why we start out with thoughts at A to B for me. The foundation of our strategy is the thoughts, because if you don't have the thoughts right, as soon as you get out there and come across the smallest little obstacle, it's going to stop you dead in your tracks. Because we didn't sit and plan it out. We didn't have any motivation. You really didn't want to do it anyway, probably. So the goal maybe wasn't right. But learning to manage your motivation is a key component of effectively handling these challenges and moving on to accomplish great things. Because when you know, you sit down, you got a plan, and you know what's going to happen. You say, look, well, if I get up here, I may have to turn left, or I may have to turn right, or I may have to hop over, and the subconscious is on board. So Einstein has got the plan, right? He's going to do all these wonderful things, and he's telling Frankenstein, hey, dude, the left side of the brain, this may happen, so we're ready for it, and we know what we're going to do. Then when you get to that point, handling those challenges is going to be that much easier, because you got the goals, you got the vision, support. You're thinking about either working with people that you admire or being admired, right? You may have a mentor. You should have a mentor, always. Maybe several. I've got several mentors, and maybe some teamwork is involved. Everybody tries to do it yourself, but that's why I work by myself. Well, no, you may have some guys at Fiverr that you job out for different things, or may got some people who help you with social media or whatever. So you do have a team, people that help you out, and of course success and then performance is the bottom line. If you don't perform, ain't nothing going to make any difference. But motivate yourself, and you can do anything. So that's the bottom line. Just figure out a way to not medicate yourself, but motivate yourself. All right, well, what's up next in Module 2? In the next session, we're going to learn some daily habits, and that's really where we're headed. Again, action Thoughts, action, habits, right? So we want to talk about daily habits that you can incorporate into your routines that'll strengthen your motivation and make it automatic. And that's really what you want. I mean, just as automatic as driving your car, putting your clothes on, taking a shower. I know that you've probably been in the shower and you're like, did I wash my hair yet? Because you just come in and you start putting things in your head, putting on your head, and you just open up and everything else. Just make things automatic, right? Like brushing your teeth. When it's part of your routine, motivation, it just comes naturally. So you just want to make it part of your routine. But first, before we get to all that next week or next session, we got some things to do, right? Here's what you need to do today. Looks like I got a little preview down there at the bottom. Which of your goals is the most important to you? So that's what we want you to write down this week. Get out your journal, get out whatever you work in. But put this down. Which of your goals is the most important to you? And what I want you to do is break the goal down into small, achievable increments that lead you to your goal. So, what are your mini goals? What are your key productive indicators? What are your key actions that you've got to get done? So, if I do this and do this, I'll get this. And if I get this, I can do this and this and this. If I do this, I get this and this and this. And then that will lead to your goal. And then think about what can you do today to take steps towards this goal. Because we don't want to procrastinate, right? We want action. We want to get out there and have some performance. So what can you do today to take steps toward that goal? So go back, catch this slide, and let's get these three things done. All right, well, let's look at some affirmations. Again, we have three of them. Again, we got the I am section here, and we're going to look at three of them today. So let's pop these up real quick, and I'll get through them. We got some other things assignments for each one of these. But the first one is achieving small goals motivates me to keep going. So this is pretty important. We talked about this, right? There's so much I want to achieve. I know I can achieve each goal if I break it into smaller milestones. These smaller goals are stepping stones on the path to completing the large one, and each step I take encourages me to move on to the next one. I always look ahead to what I can achieve in 5-year increments, then I set smaller targets for each year. Again, we talk about the 12-week year. Setting smaller goals with shorter time frames prevents me from feeling overwhelmed. When I take 100 small steps instead of one big step, I feel myself progressing because I know it's just one small step at a time. When I make a savings commitment, I tie it to something I want to acquire later on. I'm realistic with my goals. I set attainable savings targets for each month. Self-acceptance is a work in progress, and I work towards this goal on a regular basis. Each morning, I remind myself to focus on accepting one thing about myself. Today, I'm confident that I can achieve anything I set my mind to. Each day is a chance to move one step closer to my goal. All right, here's some self-reflection questions for this one. And again, if you want to record these yourself, just go back and get them. I would always write them down and read them but you want to hear yourself reading them. So also I'd make an audio of these things so that you can get as many sources coming into your subconscious as possible. But here's some self-reflection questions for this one. What large goal is my greatest priority? We just talked about that. Think about that. And then how can I break it down into smaller attainable goals with short time frames? And how can I make working toward my goals a regular part of my daily routine? And of course, we do this in our weekly accountability meetings if you're in the group with us. Of going through your key actions and your key productive indicators and getting a percentage and how much percent of goal did you get this week. So those are good things. And if you're not part of the group, we'll give you some opportunities on how you might can do that. But this is a great self-reflection for you for this week. Here's another one. Motivation comes naturally to me. Wouldn't that be awesome? Now we're talking about habits. I know what I want in life because I know what I want. I automatically put myself in the mindset to attain that goal. I rely on my inner drive to feel motivated. My energies are enough to push me to move forward with anything I want to attain. I'm fully aware of what makes me successful, and that awareness is enough to allow me to motivate myself to achieve greatness. Although others have expectations of me, I avoid acting only when those expectations are highlighted. I know within myself what is required of me, and I strive to fulfill those requirements. I am confident in my capabilities, and because I know myself and what I can do, it is easy to proceed with going after things within my reach. Success is written for me, so I enjoy going after it with gusto. When setting goals, I'm realistic. I set goals that are challenging but attainable, so I achieve the best results. I know what I want to accomplish, and that image is enough to drive me forward. Today, I commit to going after what I want to attain. I know that my inner drive is enough for me to go forward and conquer anything. I also commit to reassuring myself that any finish line I set my sights on is reachable because I have the strength to keep myself going forward. And this is a great one just every morning, just to pop this one out. Maybe pop it out at noon. Again, we have so many affirmations. You can customize these things. And again, if you're in the A to B for Me community, you can go up to a resources tab and grab these and get copies of them and just redo them however you want to do them. But we want to give you some basic format, but don't feel like you have to rewrite them. You can just take these. I mean, theft is acceptable here at A to B for Me. Let's go ahead and just use them. Here's our self-reflection questions here. Am I affected by a lack of self-confidence when it comes to motivating myself? And these are just things you have to be honest with. And when we have our A to B for Me strategies, we'll talk about these. And do I get better results when I self-motivate as opposed to being motivated by others around me? And that's a pretty important thing to understand about yourself. And do I underestimate my abilities to achieve? And in most cases, we do, because we just don't we don't believe in ourselves as much as other people believe in us. I know you can do anything you want to do. We just have to figure out how to do it, right? So think about these self-reflection questions, but this is a great one. Motivation comes to me naturally. And then I'll go ahead and do a third one today. And the third one is today I take a step toward my dreams. That's always important. I regularly review my goals and dreams. More importantly, I take at least one step each day to make my dreams come to life. I find this to be easy and joyful. Knowing that I'm in control of my life is all the motivation I require. Sometimes I may find myself feeling challenged to take the next step. When this happens, I focus on the long term. I think of the joy of making my dreams a reality. I remember how far I have come, and this renews my motivation and commitment. I know I am making my dreams come true. When others are unsupportive of my dreams and the steps I take towards them, I am able to quietly keep pressing onward. I am free from needing the approval of others. I am focused on my life and goals. I am unstoppable. My goals and dreams come to me easily and with minimal effort. I'm clear about my dreams and the direction of my life. As my dreams come closer to fruition, I find myself gaining even more momentum. Each successive step becomes easier and easier, and my dreams come toward me faster and faster. Today, I choose to take one huge step towards my dreams. For one day, I cast aside all doubt and hesitancy and seize the opportunity to make my dreams come true. Now you can see with these I ams, that's what an affirmation is. It's an I am. And you get the subconscious believing these things. Again, and that's really what has to happen. You have to take these in. You start out it's just an act of faith. You're reading these things. When I tell you, you start absorbing these things, and then you start believing these things, and then these things start coming to fruition, and you're like, wow, this stuff really, after all these years, these people have been telling me this, and I never believed it, but it really does work. So get in there and let's make them work. I mean, what the hell else you gonna do, right? I mean, you're struggling, so let's give it a shot, right? Self-reflection question for this one. What are my dreams? Here we go. Let's get back to basics here, the old dream session. And what can I do today to make my dreams come true? And what resources do I need to take that step? All right, we've had three good ones this week for you. So take those into account and make sure that you're utilizing the stuff that we're giving you, because I tell you what, we're almost out of September. It's goodbye September time, and if you're seeing this at a later date, that's fine. Doesn't really matter if it's September or October. But right now we're close to October, and what that means is really fourth quarter, right? So we've got the fourth quarter to deal with, and everybody knows I'm a Cowboy fan, and some of you may not be, and some of you may hate Jerry Jones. But I tell you what, this is a great quote by him. Everybody's pretty good in the first quarter. I think you will admit that. Everybody gets out there and kind of gets it going. The second quarter, you have a little bump or two, but you keep coming into the half. And by the time the third quarter comes around, you're tired. You're laboring. And that's where we are kind of right now. You've been at it for three quarters. But when you come to the fourth quarter, it calls on your character. And that's what we build everything on and around here at A to B for me. It's thoughts, action, habits, character. And once you get that character in place and you get your core values in place, things just start happening for you. But it's going to take, again, discipline, commitment, toughness, effort, and pride to get you through and get you to your destiny. And that's all part of just building that character. And what we want to do here at A to B for me is help you do that. And that's why we have a program called 84 Days. And you've got about, right now, as we sit here, 13, 14 weeks left in the year. And this is 84 days. So 84 days is 12 weeks. And we put together a great program for you that to review and course correct your personal processes to assist you to change the ending. I mean, that's what we're all trying to do. We want to change that ending. We don't want to sit here and have the same failings and the same shortcomings as we always have. So we want to change the ending. And we do that through our deep dive series. We've got 24 deep dives for you in this process. It's 12 weeks. I think it's like every other day you're rolling. It's not something you just sit back and say, well, this is a 30-minute program. No, this is 84 days. This is some serious time commitment for you. But it's clear vision journaling is what we start out with the Phoenix Journal. And we talk about success fundamentals and the compound effect. That's about a 6 or 7 week program. Then lifestyle transformation through the Miracle Morning, which is a 6 or 7 week program. Then atomic habits are going to help us with James Clear, get those habit modifications happening. That's about a 7-week program. Effective execution. We're going to go over the 12-week year. It's a couple-week program. And then passion and purpose with a book called The Rhythm of Life, which is really going to keep you just grounded and get you back to that life purpose thing. And so, well, you said 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, all this kind of stuff. We only got 24 in 84 days. Yeah, we're rolling. We're condensing these things for you so you can really get it rolling. So you're working on these things again every 1 or 2 days. And we have action steps and all the forms and all this kind of stuff. Plus, we're going to give you, I told you, our programs are do with you programs. So we've got 5 personal strategy sessions, accountability sessions during this process. So that's included, and we'll get those structures and set with you. And then for continued continuity upon graduation of this program, we're going to give you 12-month access to all the A to B for Me programs, including our monthly private coaching calls and those types of things and other events that we may put out there for you. So take a look at this. Get after it. It's a daily investment in yourself is what we're talking about here. It's time plus 10 equals success. We talk about there at A to B for Me. It's your time. So you choose when you do it. It is a timed program, but so you can't go too fast. So we want to be sure you absorb it, but we want to get you through 84 days, 12 weeks. It'll get you in for the end of the year. And basically it's $10 a day times 84 days, which is $840 plus your books and materials. And we heavily discounted this for you to make it $850 $840. I think we added it up, and it was like $1,522 is really what, when you put everything together, we just had on that last slide, all these different things here. The 24 deep dives and all the strategy sessions, about $1,522. So you're saving about $682 on the program right now, about a 45% discount. Plus, we're going to give you some budget pricing. Remember, it's a 365-day program. It's 12 weeks intense. Plus, you've got the other 9 months there to hang in with us. But we got a budget pricing of $300 times 3 months, so three easy payments of $300, and you're done with it. And if you want to go ahead and get rolling, I would strongly suggest you do go up to a2bforme.info//84 days, and let's get that going for yourself, because there are a few realities that you really need to consider. One of these is one of these days equals none of these days. When someone says, well, that sounds like a good thing, I think I might do that one of these days. Well, you need to really understand that means none of these days, because you subconsciously you just made a decision to procrastinate one more time. Another thing you can't do, you can't push a rope. You can try all you want to. Try and push a rope, it's not going anywhere. You can't put toothpaste back in the tube. And the bottom line is you can't make folks successful that don't want to be. So if you don't want to be successful, you don't want to be, there's nothing we can do for you. But if you're listening to this program, the chances are you do want to make this. If you want to be successful, if you want to change the ending, now is the time. And let's get your ending changed so you got things rolling in the way that you want to get them going. And I'd love you to join our journey. I mean, you got this. We got this together. Again, it's a Do With You program. So go to a2bforme.info/84 days, and let's go ahead and begin that journey. Because the big question for the day is, if not now, when? When are you going to do it? Now's the perfect time. You get your 12 weeks in, you get your 84 days done, and you're done before 2022 kicks off. You got your plans right, you got your goals right, everything is right, hopping into 2022, and you are ready to rock and roll because you're locked and loaded. So come in here with us. Let's get this thing going. I want to thank you for attending. We went a little bit long today, but again, if you want to schedule a strategy session, there it is for you. Reach out to our YouTube channel, A2B for Me, and go ahead and subscribe to that so you don't miss any of our programs. We've got several programs through the week. You can listen to us on Anchor FM, and of course, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All right, we'll keep moving in the direction of your dreams, and we will talk to you later. Have a great one. I'm going to come in here real quick and just say goodbye to you in person. So, hey, if you're not on the podcast, then now you can see me, but have a great one.